What is up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. We took a few weeks off for the holidays and for New Year's, and we are now officially back with a brand new guest. I'm very excited to have her on. Just to get us kicked off and going, tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Evelina Cosplay. I am a cosplayer from the Netherlands, and I'm 27 years old. I live in the south bit of the Netherlands, and I live there with my boyfriend. And right now I'm in our workshop, and I created a fancy background for you guys that you have something to look at. So it's a little display of some of my cosplays here. I have been cosplaying for 8 years. And I cosplay all sorts of fandoms, actually. Well, Marvel and Spider-Man, obviously, because that's my favorite superhero, but also musical stuff or other movies, sometimes even games or anime. So there's all sorts of cosplays here.
So before we get into the cosplay and everything, so what's it like living in the Netherlands?
Ooh, I don't really know how to explain because, well, I've obviously been living here all my life. So for me, everything is sort of normal, I guess. What I do like about this country is that there's a bit of everything, in a sense of seasons, but also people and also environment. So that's what I actually really enjoy. Everything is quite close by. Like if I hear people talk about they have to drive 6 hours to go to their family or whatever in the United States, I'm like, well,
Uh,
I drive for 40 minutes. So everything's quite close by. And there are no extreme things here, like nature-wise or country-wise. So that's what I'm very thankful for also. Yeah.
okay, okay. Um, so is there a lot of conventions in the Netherlands?
Quite a bit, actually, like
Okay.
mostly anime cons, but there also have been shifts actually in Comic Cons. The major one here is Dutch Comic Con in Utrecht, so that's in the center of the Netherlands. I actually lived there when I was studying, but I live more in the south part now, so it's like an hour drive for me, so which is still very close by, actually. But I think that's the biggest one. We've had one in Amsterdam, in Rotterdam, and every now and then there's some other ones popping up. But the main one must be Dutch Comic Con. Yeah, so it's. I think if you really want to, you could go to a convention every month.
Oh,
I
okay.
think, but you have to look for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has has there always been conventions? Because I remember a couple of weeks ago when I had somebody on who was from the Bahamas, she mentioned that her and her friends kind of had to start their conventions there. So have there's always
Cool.
been conventions in the Netherlands?
The anime conventions have been around for quite a few years, I think, but I like my main focus is not on anime, but more on like the superhero stuff. So I never looked into it before that. When I just started cosplaying, so that was back in 2014. Um, I think in 2015, the Dutch Comic Con had its first edition. But before that, there have been anime cons. I'm quite sure of that, but I don't know for how long because I never looked into it before that because my passion started 8 years ago. But I'm pretty sure that it was already there quite a couple of years before the start of Dutch Comic Con, but then the anime cons mostly.
So what got you started with was cosplaying?
Actually, a friend of mine, indirectly, I think, she told me that she was looking for elf ears and a dress to go to a fantasy festival. So I was like, "Oh, what's that for? That's cool." And then she showed me pictures, and when she went there, she told me about it, and I just thought it was really cool. She looked super pretty, also. So after that, we wanted to go to a fantasy festival together. And then I made my first faun. I don't really know how to pronounce it in English. Cosplays. It's like the lower half of the creature is a ram, and the top part is a human. So that was my first cosplay actually, and I just loved walking around looking totally different. I've also always had an interest in acting and costumes and stuff like that, like also theater stuff. So it all just came together. Then my interest in superheroes skyrocketed, and then I made my first Spider-Man cosplay, and that's how it escalated quite quickly after that, actually.
So besides cosplays, you were also a theater kid?
I would not really say a theater kid. I love theater. I like going to the theater, but like in my family, we never really did it because it's quite expensive. But my mom and my brother, well, and me, have done theater for quite a few years. We all quit now, actually, for me because of study back then. So I do love theater and everything around theater, but it's not that I'm looking into it or checking backgrounds or some companies or musicals. I just, something is just interesting and then just try to go, and that's it. Made me. I do. I did switch to a lot more musical cosplays actually because of my favorite actor now. So yes, but still not a theater kid, I think.
uh, so when you went to your first convention, what was that experience like for you?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So that has to be, well, then like you have fantasy festivals and you have like comic conventions. So let me just address the comic convention then. So that has to be Dutch Comic Con 2015. So that was their first edition and my first Comic Con. It's actually quite funny because the first year I started looking into whether there was a Comic-Con in the Netherlands, that was actually their first year. So that was really cool. So it all started with me starting cosplaying. I just remember walking in there and everything was just huge and so many people, but I felt home like immediately. It's just that like comics and superheroes and stuff just bring me comfort. So if I'm surrounded by that and if I'm surrounded by people that share that passion, I just immediately feel more comfortable. So it just felt like yeah, just a very nice, warm, fun, crazy experience, just everything all at once. So I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And people were really nice. I was dressed as a spider girl, my this one actually, but then without all the battle damage, it was still one one thing back then. Everyone was just really, really nice to me and complimenting me on my cosplay, and it just lifted me up and I felt awesome. Yeah, it was great.
How long are your conventions? Because usually here in the U.S., depending on which one you go to, they could be 3 days, a weekend, 5 days. So how long are typically your conventions?
Oh, that's awesome. 2 days actually, just a Saturday and a Sunday. I do know that Castle Fest, which is a fantasy festival, starts Thursday evening and then ends Sunday evening, so that's a bit longer. I think there have been some rumors about Comic Con having another day, but I don't know if I'm confusing this with something else. So maybe there might be 3 days in the future, but usually it's just a weekend.
Okay. Okay. How many cons do you go to per year?
It depends on my mental state and how busy I am. I try to go to Dutch Comic Con both editions. So there's like a spring slash summer and a winter fall
Okay.
edition. And then usually I grab one or two in Belgium as well. You have Facts. Oh, and another one, but I can't come up with the name. And usually like Castle Fest, so one or two fantasy festivals as well, because it's just super relaxed and so much fun.
So I know you mentioned Belgium. Do you go outside of the Netherlands to other conventions, or do you just primarily stick to the ones around you?
Primarily stick to the ones around me. Since we live in the south and Belgium is attached to the Netherlands and the south, so it's like within 30 minutes we enter that country. So
Okay.
it's very close, relatively close by. I've never been to Germany, but I would like to go to Dortmund Comic Con, German Comic Con, and that would be fine by car as well. But I would love to go to MCM London or like San Diego Comic Con, but yeah, I've never been there before.
um, yeah, I've had some guests who went to the London Comic Con. Then obviously in the US, there's thousands of cons you can go to. New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, Dragon Con. So there's
Yeah, Dragon.
so are you planning on going outside like to London or the US for any other conventions? Have you thought
Not
about that?
yet. Like this year, yeah, this year I was looking into MCM actually, but it didn't work with our planning. And for the coming year, I don't have plans yet. But now that you remind me, let me check with my boyfriend. I would love to go.
uh so tell us about your cosplays. What are the cosplays that you've made over the years?
Yeah, so it differs. There's a lot of different fandoms they're from, but mainly Marvel, and actually for the past 2 years, I think mainly musicals because of that one actor. Um, so it started with my original cosplay, my fantasy faun cosplay, and then my second one was Spider-Man, and after that I made Venom, but then based on the trilogy, so on Topher Grace's version. Um, and that was all. I just feel really cool and those cosplays. After that, I think I came with my first crossplay, so my first guy character. That was Bart the Bowman. It was actually sort of by accident in a way that we wanted to go cosplay The Hobbit with a group of friends, and
Mhm.
then everyone started picking characters, and I was thinking about Tauriel. But a friend of mine also wanted to cosplay hers, and I was like, oh, but who am I gonna do them? Because I don't really like super feminine characters. I
Mhm.
like them to be more like badass bitches.
Okay.
So I did not want to go for Galadriel or something like that. So then I was like, why not just cosplay my other favorite character, which is Bart the Bowman? Um, and it never really, well, it did like cross my mind, yeah, but I'm a woman, so isn't that weird? And like, no, it's a costume, and I'm excited about this character, so why not? So I did a makeup test and actually looked quite quite good. So then I was like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. And it was really, really cool. The costume came out great. My boyfriend cosplayed Thorin Oakenshield, so we
Oh.
were a gay couple that day. It was really, really cool. Yeah, it was lovely. Um, and then when I became a fan of Ramin Karimloo, the actor I talked about, he mainly does theater. Like
Mhm.
he's also a singer and he's also an actor in movies, but mainly theater. And it's for me, it started when I watched the Phantom of the Opera 25th anniversary on YouTube. They had it streaming for like 48 hours at the beginning of COVID.
Mhm.
Um, and then I fell in love with it, and sort of knew what Phantom was because I've seen cosplayers cosplaying Phantom, but so I knew it was a musical, but I didn't really know what it was about. I thought the Phantom was a magical creature. He still is, in my opinion. So then I cosplayed that, and it escalated from there on. So also other musicals, from Anastasia, from the Last Match Experience, and all other things that I can't remember right now. Evita. So a lot of musical cosplays too. And what I'm working on now is actually Marvel again. So it's Dr. Octopus. I started 3 years ago, I think, but
Oh,
there
okay.
obviously came some projects in between.
Right.
Same goes for Venom. He's right over there, but he's all plastic around, and I couldn't just place it here, unfortunately. I do have the mask here.
Oh yeah.
Also took me like 3 years or so, but it was not like 3 years full-time working on that. It was, I started 3 years ago, and then I didn't do shit for maybe 2 years, and yeah, so something like that. Then I had my deadline to send them too. And for this one, it's just that I sometimes lose, or sometimes I quite often lose motivation because it's just complicated. I'm
Mm,
not a seamstress in a way that I took a course or whatever. I just have a sewing machine and I just do random stuff, and then usually it comes out looking like a costume. So this is just really hard for me. Like the green coat is almost finished. I even lined it, which I'm very proud of. The pockets are functional pockets, which I'm very proud of. It needs the buttons, the buttonholes, and needs some buttons in the sleeves. And then that one's actually finished. And then I have to continue working on the leather coat. But yeah, because it's just difficult, I really have to sit down and think about what I have to do. So I can't just, like, if I have an hour or so, I can't just go work on it.
right.
So that's why sometimes prevents me from making progress on that. But that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on a costume based on this Funko that a friend of mine made. Because Ramin did a concert, Camelot in concert, and he played King Arthur, but they were just wearing regular fancy clothes. And I would have loved to see him in armor and with a sword. And then a friend of mine made this Funko, and I was like, I'm gonna turn that into a cosplay. So that's what I'm also working on. And I'm working on White Tiger from the Ultimate Spider-Man series,
Oh
I
yeah.
think. Eva Ayala.
Yeah.
I also started that maybe 3 years ago, and then I just threw it in a corner because it's white lycra, so it's very see-through, and I could not find anything thicker or anything stretchy enough, so I still don't really know what to do with it. Probably 2 layers of lycra, but then you can see the seams. So yeah,
Uh,
I'm just gonna have to figure that out. There's a lot
yeah.
still
It sounds
going
like
on.
it's a lot. Um, what's out of all of that? Um, what's your most proudest cosplay that you've made?
Ooh. There's like bits or props of certain cosplays that I'm really proud of, but I think overall it has to be Venom. It is actually one of my dream cosplays,
Okay.
Dr. Octopus as well. That's also why it took me so long to finish, because I just wanted it to be as perfect as possible. I know perfect doesn't exist, but yeah, and I still strive for perfectionism, which I shouldn't. And there's still things on that suit I'm like, I should have done this differently, and I don't like how this looks. But overall, I'm really proud of it. It came out so cool, and I really did my very best with creating the right proportions, the right muscle structure, and I think it really shows. So I'm super proud of that one.
So since you're a big superhero fanatic, uh, what has been what's your favorite superhero movie that you've seen over the years? Like number one, hands down. If you were trapped on an island, that's the movie you want with you.
I think I would actually have to go for the first movie of the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey.
Okay.
That was the one I fell in love with, and the Spidey I fell in love with. Um, and I just really enjoy it every time I watch it. And of course, like the last Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home with all three,
Oh yes.
was an absolute blast and an absolute shock. It was so shocking for me that I only saw it once in the cinema, and I never try to watch it again because it's just so emotional. So like you really have to be in a great mood and be willing to have that mood ruined by a movie,
Mm.
but also because you love it. And yeah, I just did not find the time yet to sit down and watch it again and cry again.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, so that one and the very first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, but also Iron Man. Uh, I just can't choose, man. I can't choose.
Yes, I remember with Spider-Man No Way Home. It like with some of these movies, it just hits different when you're in a theater full of people who love the same thing as you. Like it was
Yeah.
just crazy when watching it. And when Andrew Garfield came out first, the whole theater was just it was just wild. Everybody was cheering, and then Toby came out. Everybody was wild. It was just which everybody has always loved Toby Maguire as Spider Man, but if it felt good seeing a lot more people appreciate Andrew Garfield's version because a lot of people didn't like the movies as much. I liked the movies for what they were.
Yeah.
I thought Andrew Garfield did a pretty good job as Spider Man, but he got showed a lot of love, which I was happy for. And obviously Tom Holland, he has been really good.
He's big.
Yeah, he's been really good at Spider Man these past couple of years. So I enjoy all three. Toby was
Oh,
the first one
nice.
I grew up with. I remember as a kid watching Spider Man and like pretending I was Spider Man. So I would like
Yeah.
mimic everything I was seeing on the screen, pretending that was me in the movie. So Spider Man's always been number one for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And then Toby for you too, then.
Yep, especially especially
Yes. Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, especially the PlayStation 2 Spider-Man game. I don't know if you've ever played that
It's really
before,
good.
but it's very it's great.
It's really good. I once had a I don't know if it's called a bug or something. Well, like when you have to bring someone back to the ambulance, you have to enter that glowing circle and then
Okay.
stand in that and then like place the person in the ambulance. But I did that right before I entered that glowing circle. I
Mhm.
pressed a button and then went into the circle. And then all of a sudden, the person I was holding over my shoulder was standing right on top of Spider-Man. So, and then I could also just still walk and run and web swing with that person on top of me. That was so funny. I was a Spider-Man 2 PlayStation game. It was hilarious.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It was great. So other than the Spider-Man movies, what's been some and Iron Man, what's been some good Marvel movies or even DC movies that you've liked?
I'm actually not that uh critical when it comes to superhero movies. Like um most people, and then usually I think the ones that come from the comics, they really have this intense opinion on what it should be like. And I can't have that because I'm not coming from that base. I just love being entertained by action movies and superhero movies. So if there's some nice action and some nice costumes, entertained quite easily, actually. But there have been movies, and at the ending, I'm like, well, okay, it sort of looked cool, but it didn't really feel anything.
Right.
And I'm not very fond of DC. I think because the superheroes in Marvel comfort me and the movies comfort me because it's a little brighter and a little happier, funnier, I think. And the DC movies are a bit darker,
Okay.
which is really cool. But for me, to bring me comfort, I think Marvel suits me better. And the superheroes also suit me better, I think. I just really like it that, especially with Peter Parker, that you can sort of relate to him, but also look up to him
Yeah.
and also be proud of him. And that's what I really like. And with the DC characters, they are either uh, just really badass, cool, and big, or you feel sorry for them. So I do really like the stories of DC, but then the character stories, not everything that comes after that. I have not seen Aquaman 2 yet, but I have not heard very great reviews so far. And for Marvel, I think the movies that people are not happy with, I probably felt like, okay, this was a cool movie, but I didn't really feel anything. And then the
Right.
movies everyone was like super excited about, I was also super excited about. So
Right.
that's mainly, yeah. And I have no problem with Spider-Man 3 in the trilogy. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, it's definitely like that for sure, where you have people who have read comics and books and things like that about these characters, and then when the movies are made, they're upset that it's not like how they read it. Which is, but
Yeah,
then
which is
again,
understandable.
it's you're trying to please an entire audience, not just a select few. And like for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I went and saw the Marvels, and I
Seen
was
it
fi-
yet.
I was fine with the movie. I thought it was actually a pretty fun, entertaining movie, but
Good.
people just it, it depends on who you talk to, but it's just people aren't too, they feel like they're being kind of like it's being forced upon them to have these kind of female led superhero movies kind of thing. But I was telling people, like, if you just go and watch the movie and just kind of leave that kind of idea out, you actually will enjoy the movie. It was actually a very fun movie. Um,
Hmm.
and then you see like She-Hulk. Uh, it wasn't the show for me. I enjoyed it for what it was, but obviously, the show probably was geared more towards a female audience, which is fine. Which I didn't care about that. I thought it was still a pretty good movie. Miss Marvel, I thought was great. That was a very fun show. So yeah, it's a tough line to walk when you're making these shows and movies because, like I said,
Yeah.
you're trying to please everybody and not just a select few group of people. Now, obviously, they'll be annoying no matter what, but
Yeah.
don't let that deter you from making a pretty good movie.
No, and like I don't want to be in their shoes at all. Like imagine having to put something out there and then having all these expectations from
Yeah.
everyone. So yeah, I am, I think, easily entertained when it comes to superhero movies, but I think they are just still doing a great job, and the stories and the characters are awesome. Um, I tend to prefer uh guy superheroes, maybe
Mhm.
because it just like
Yeah.
makes me feel more comfortable looking up to a guy because just feels nice. I don't know. I am bisexual, but like with men, I just feel more like they could protect me or something. And I
Mm,
think with guy superheroes, I have that same feeling. Um, and there's just something for everyone. Like if
yeah.
you like the female leads, you can go to that, and then There, I think there's also movies that do follow the comic books really well, but I
Oh
do
yeah.
understand if you're so focused on comics and then have a movie coming out based on the comics, but it's not what you expect or how you like saw it in your mind, then I can imagine how unsatisfying that must be. Or for me, like something a little bit different, I think. I started loving Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. And then suddenly there was an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I had to get used to that, you know? So that's maybe also when you are used to the comic and then there's a movie. Maybe also when you're used to one actor and then there's a different actor. You have to get used to
Mm.
that. But I eventually love all three Spider-Mans because they're all also very different. And the actors themselves are just super sweet and super
Yeah.
fun. So that's what I also really appreciate. And I just love what they brought to the character. And like all three of them have a super, super cute and super cool Peter Parker. So more to love.
Yeah. If you could be, if there was one Marvel movie that you could be in, which movie would that be?
Like when the trailer of Madam Web came out,
Oh yeah.
I have to say that I felt so jealous because I would love to play a Spider Woman, Spider Girl so badly. Yeah, so even though I do think guy superheroes are way cooler,
Mm.
I can't really explain why. It's just how I feel. I I can't play a guy character in a movie. I don't want to play a guy character in a movie. Let's not get into genders. I know it's not black and white, so I
Right,
just want to
right.
leave that there. But for me personally, a guy character would not be possible. So then I would like to be a female character. But yeah, then I would be satisfied with playing a Spider Girl or Spider Woman. That would be so cool. And I would still feel badass. I would love that. Yeah. So secretly, well, not even that secretly, because I brought it out here. I felt so jealous of those actresses.
What's her name? Sydney Sweetie.
I don't know. I
I don't
didn't
know.
look into it.
The costume looked cool though. I mean, I thought it looked really good. That is an interesting movie that I am intrigued to watch and see how it plays out. Because
Yeah,
Sony
definitely.
is their superhero movies have not been all that great. The Venom movies are fine. Um, Morbius wasn't that great.
Also have not watched that one. Oops.
um, they're
Oops.
doing
Put
they're
it in my
doing Craven the Hunter.
Yes. Oh, I would have loved to see Ramin playing that character. There was like, what if he would be, because he would love to be in a Marvel movie. So I was like, then what character would he play? And I was like, ah, Craven. But then it's already picked by someone
Yep.
else.
Who is it? Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's right. That's who's.
You look badass though.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What you
Uh.
said about the Sony, I hear that quite often, that the Sony superhero movies are not really that. Um, why is that? Because I think I feel the same way, but I just can't like pinpoint like I can put
Well,
my finger on it. Like what is
it seems like with their movies, if you look at the Venom movies, Morbius, and then Craven the Hunter, like these are characters that are maybe Venom not so much, but uh these are very much villains in the Spider-Man universe. But what Sony is doing is kind of making them more anti-heroes, and so a lot of people are kind of
uh,
like, "Why are you doing that?" Because when they do this kind of stuff too, because it's in Sony's universe, you typically wouldn't be able to see it in the Marvel universe with Tom Holland. So since they're doing a Craven movie, we probably would not get Craven in an MCU Spider-Man movie because of it, unless they did some kind of crossover. The whole thing's weird with them having to share the rights to Spider-Man. So
yeah.
it's just like I said, Venom. The first Venom was kind of fun, entertaining. The second one was fine. Not like something I would sit down and watch again. Morbius, the problem with that was it just kept being delayed. It was supposed to come out in like 2018, 2019. And yeah,
Whoa.
it was yeah, it kept getting delayed in reshoots. So because then after a while, everybody was just kind of just it fell out of people's minds until it released in 2021, I think.
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
think it was 20. Yeah, I think it was 2021 when it came out. Um, but I do have a little bit of high hopes for Madam Web. Now, obviously, they are looking at the trailer of it. They are changing some stuff about it. And what's weird about the trailer when I was watching it, because I did like a little trailer reaction to it. What's weird about the trailer, it gives me the original Terminator vibes. Because it's like so like in the Terminator movie, there's a killer robot gets sent back in time to kill the mother of the leader of the human resistance in the future. In the Madam Web trailer, it kind of seems like that too. There's a guy who's that's right. The villain of the movie, I don't know if he was already around or he got sent back in time or what, but he's there to kill Peter Parker's mother so she wouldn't give birth to Peter Parker, and then he wouldn't become Spider-Man. So it's a whole interesting. That's why I feel like is this like Terminator? Because that's what that's the vibe it's giving off right now. So
Uh,
who knows?
Maybe it is. And
You're
he's gonna
right
do a cameo.
because it comes out in February.
I don't know. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, yeah. That tends to happen
But
with Sony
I
movies.
am
You forget
excited.
about it.
Oh yeah, well apparently. Well, if they like push it back three,
Oh
4 years, then yeah.
yeah. Um, because I don't know when Craven is supposed to come out. They did the trailer for it last year.
Months back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's even
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. It's so
we're
um
just gonna leave it as a surprise.
yeah. Um so what so we even talk about your boyfriend's cosplaying. What kind of cosplays does he do?
Um Usually ones that fit mine. So so far he has cosplayed Thor in Oakenshield. He has 2 Iron Man suits. Jon Snow when I cosplayed Ygritte from the Game of
Oh.
Thrones. And he has a Spider-Man suit. And he has like some Tony Stark outfit things as well. I think that's it. Yeah, so it's usually because we can go together and it's romantic. And he's mainly focused on work and other things now, so he has not been cosplaying for the past 2 years, I think. He did not
Oh,
quit. It's just not active now.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
very sad. Very sad. But then he takes videos and pictures when I'm in cosplay when we're at a convention, so
Oh, see, that works out perfectly then.
that works out perfectly, yeah.
So when you're not cosplaying or anything like that, what is your free time look like? What do you usually do?
I uh do bouldering, like climbing.
Oh,
I climb. I I still do pole fitness. Pole is over there, we can see it. It's in the middle of this room, but I have not been doing that for months now because I just didn't feel like it. But the pole's over there and still know how to do it. And lately I've been starting training for pro wrestling.
pro wrestling.
Yes. So that's what I'm sort of starting to get into. Um, I did quite a bit of drawing, but I've not done that lately. And I watch YouTube videos just to relax and also sometimes for information about, like, I was looking into making prosthetics, stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's what YouTube's very helpful for. I looked up a tutorial to cut a wolf cut, so then I cut my hair. But yeah, the pro wrestling stuff is what I'm slowly getting into now. But there's trainings on Wednesday and Sunday, but on Wednesday I have to work and it's like an hour and a half drive from me, so I can't
Oh,
really get there on time. And it's just not nice because the day after I have to get up quite early for work again. So it's not nice to then like be in bed past midnight. But maybe I might try and go for a Wednesday training one day just to see what it's like, because now I'm only able to do 2 Sundays a month, and it's just not enough to grow as a wrestler. So it's just yeah, trying to balance that. And my mom absolutely hates it. My boyfriend is also not very sure about it. Um, I am sure about continuing, but I'm not sure about, like, you could break your neck.
yeah.
You could break an arm. You could like get an injury that's gonna be chronic or whatever. And if that were to happen, like, that's not worth it for me. So I'm still sort of figuring out how big the risk is and if I want to risk that. But so far, I'm still willing to risk it.
What got you? What got you into this? What brought this on?
Different things actually, because I have not been a pro wrestling fan ever. Um, it was actually when the last match experience came around. Ramin played Ben Vengeance, and it's a pro wrestling rock musical. So there
Oh,
is pro wrestling as well as singing and characters that sing. So it's really cool. They had Matt Cardona also. Um, I was not able to see it because it was in the States. But I did see some clips that they posted, and it just looked really cool. And then I just started looking into it. So I talked to one of the uh, team crew producer, I don't know, um, the creator of the visual things, and he sent me like, go watch this documentary, go watch these videos, go look for this and this and this and that character. So I did that, and then I was like, this is really, really cool. When I was younger, I wanted to be a stunt woman. And I was interested in I just really loved like martial arts and free running, just like cool acrobatic stuff.
oh my
I
gosh.
did gymnastics back then, but that's all I did, and climbing. But I never really looked into it because I was just scared
Mm.
to actually go for it. And then when I looked into pro wrestling, I was like, well, there's a lot of physical acrobatic stuff. That's cool. There's costumes, which I obviously really like. There is a lot of acting as well, and you have to be very like forward and really be there. Like, there has to be strong acting, and I can be very timid, um, awkward, scared, whatever. So if I learn how to be more open with my acting, then it's gonna really help my acting as well. Because it's my dream to become an actress. And um, you learn how to fall. And when you do bouldering, there's these big mats underneath. So you could fall. And I usually, when I'm climbing, I'm scared to fall. So sometimes I just come back down and don't finish the boulder because I'm scared to fall. So maybe if falling becomes second nature, then I would be able to up my climbing game. And one more thing, I struggle with getting feedback, and
Mm.
I have like this fear of failure, and I just struggle a lot with that. And to actually go wrestling or to do these trainings, I am surrounded by people that have been doing this for years. So I will look like a complete idiot and not be able to do anything right. And so I was like, if I put myself in that situation, I am going to learn how to feel free to learn and to, yes, I can make mistakes because I will grow if I make mistakes. So there's just going to be a lot of personal development, and that's also what really attracted me. So it's just a big, like, everything's just coming together in that thing, apart from the fact that I might hit my head or break an arm. But everything else is really cool.
So that
So yeah, that's actually
so there's
what
that,
got me into it.
and then
Yep.
the pole dance, not
Yeah,
dancing,
pole
but
fitness. Yeah, it's I usually call it pole dancing actually, but it is pole fitness because there's no choreography when I do it or when we have these trainings. It's focused on tricks in the pole and on your physical activity. So like getting stronger and or more flexible. So there's no, I'm also not flexible at all. I
oh,
can't really dance that well, so I would not call it pole dancing. I'm just doing some random tricks in the pole, try to look cool, try to gain some muscles. That's all.
what got
Like
you
I
into
really
that?
want to be able to do this flag thing.
What got you started on with that one?
Um, quite early on, I think I was maybe 16 or something. I think I heard someone talking about it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Never really given it a second thought. And then I heard someone else talk about it. And then I was university, maybe my master's. And then I talked to about it with a friend of mine. And she said, yeah, well, I tried this course last week and it was really fun. I was like, oh, we can actually go do that. So he was like, yeah, sure. So then we both started training, and I have been training in a studio for 2 years, and then COVID happened. And then I bought my own pole, and now I have my own pole.
That's just
So just by
it's back there.
accident,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is
I
back
just,
there.
I just, yeah, it's behind, it's in the middle here. Maybe I can move.
Oh, okay.
Uh, there,
There it
the
is.
shiny thing over there. There it is. Yeah, and I just love, like, I want to become physically strong, well, also mentally stronger, but physically stronger. And I just love big arms and shoulders, so that's what I'm going for.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you have a wrestler name in mind?
No, not yet. And I'm also not sure, I don't know if you know anything about pro wrestling, but you have heels and baby faces. So the baby face is like the superhero type, and the heel is the villain type.
Oh,
And that depends um your role, like how you fight sort of and how you interact with the public,
mhm.
and the role you have in the matches. And I think I actually would like to be a heel, because I think it's just going to be fun. But in my team there's already a lot of heels, I understood, and my face and hair, my appearance, I think fit a baby face more.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do have a resting bitch face, and they don't know that yet. So I'm just gonna, I think the boss is going to give me either one of those. So I don't think I can decide myself. So I'll just see what happens. But it's probably gonna take like 2 more years or so before I'm gonna enter the ring and actually have a wrestling persona. So it's gonna be a while still.
Yeah, we don't I mean we have we have pro wrestling here, but nothing like that. I don't know if you ever watched American wrestling. Uh
You mean like the WWE
yeah, there
thing?
you go. That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say it's not as good as it was years ago when it was the WWF.
Hmm.
because that was probably a lot better because you had you had The Rock, Triple H, The Undertaker, Kane,
Cool.
Mankind.
Yeah.
You had all these crazy matches. What is it? Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble, where like all the wrestlers are fighting in the ring, and if you get thrown out, you're out. There's one I forgot what it was called, but like they would suspend the belt above the ring at a certain height, and you have to like
The ladder
climb up.
match.
Yeah. And so
Yes. Oh, that looks so scary. I don't think my team does that, which I'm very thankful for.
um I can't remember which year it was, but there was one where it was a Hell in a Cell match, or maybe it was a cage match, but I'm pretty sure it was Hell in a Cell, where two of the wrestlers were like on top going at each other, and one guy throws the other guy off of it, and he crashes on the announcing table. And
Oh Lord.
I it's great. You should go. You need to go on YouTube and look up some of these crazy things because it was wild. It was very peak
Well,
when I was
you
younger.
know a lot more than me. I just feel like such an imposter when I'm training because I am interested in the training and becoming a wrestler, but I have never been a wrestling fan before, and I noticed that I don't really enjoy watching the matches on the screen. Like I want to be there in the audience live. That's what I would really like. So so I don't really know a lot about the original wrestling, and like the names that you just mentioned, I do recognize those, so that's good. That's one thing. But yeah, I feel like such an imposter when you talk about it because you actually know a lot more. But I did recognize a lot of things that you said, so we're getting there. But yeah, that's crazy. I did look up a lot of things, and also, which maybe I shouldn't have, videos where like wrestling when things go wrong, or major injuries when
Oh yeah.
wrestling. I was like, no, maybe I should quit. But no, it did not scare me enough to actually
Now there
stop.
definitely have been some there has
Deaths.
been some crazy events. I think there's one where they buried somebody alive. Um,
Yes.
I think there was one where somebody got thrown off a bridge to a river
Mm.
below. Oh man, what
I
other?
think the burying alive is actually safer than jumping off the cage on the announcer's table.
Yeah.
Because they have like this trick thing in there.
Oh, this is probably too much for you, but like for those who are listening who probably not familiar with like old timey WWF stuff, but that from a definitely one of the coolest matches is obviously when you have the female wrestlers, because there was actually really a good amount of female wrestlers during this time. I mean, there's some now, but like they were very familiar names, and they would wrestle each other, but they would also have like these stripping contests and stuff like that, and like they'll be closed in one part, go at each other, and they're just ripping each other's clothes off, and it was just it was good entertainment for sure.
That's good entertainment for sure. Yes.
Oh, it was
I
just
don't mind watching the women or watching the men throw each other around in the ring. It's good. It's good entertainment.
that's definitely what you
But
want to do.
have you
You want to get in
seen
there. You want to throw
Japanese
somebody
women's
around.
wrestling? Sorry?
You want to get in there and throw somebody around.
I do. I do. I had my first suplex training
Ooh,
2 weeks back. Um, which was really cool because that was like the first thing that I was like, I want to learn that. And it's actually really easy, but it just
yeah.
looks really cool. So yeah, that was awesome. Have you seen Japanese women's wrestling? That's crazy.
I didn't even know
That
there
is
was
crazy.
Japanese women wrestling.
They go at each other like they want to kill each other, and it's just so cool. And I think with WWE, I don't want to insult anyone actually. Like there's a lot of screaming when
Yeah.
the women wrestle, and I'm not
Oh,
very
okay.
fond of that. I just want to see them fight. So, and then when the Japanese wrestling, they're like going at each other like crazy, and it's
Oh,
so cool. They really throw each other around. That's really cool. And ooh, what's it called again? Lucha Libre.
okay.
That's cool too. I love that. I want to be a high flyer.
You just want to test the
One
limits.
day. I do, but I'm also scared. But I just want to look cool, okay? I just want to look like a superhero.
Oh man, see now I'm excited to see you actually like in the ring. I have to figure out a way how to watch it because I would doubt we would be able to get it here. Oh, we might. I guess if I dig deep enough, I could probably find something about it. But oh man, see now I'm excited just to see you just come high flying off the top of the ring and everything, and just
And I'm gonna make my own costume, of course. It's all coming together. It's so cool. Yeah, I will definitely spam everyone if I enter the ring. But yeah, as I said, it's probably gonna be 2 years at least, unfortunately. But it's for the better. It's
yeah,
for the better. I need a lot more training.
you definitely gotta get those muscles built up and
Yeah, I need some leg muscles, man. I got nothing there.
oh my gosh. I'm sure that's not that.
I can I can carry my Venom costume, but that's all. Like
Oh,
25 kilograms, I'm down. That's not
um,
25 kilograms. It's maybe 4 or 5.
oh, okay, okay.
5. 5, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
show us
lot of
your
silicon.
show us your Spider-Man fit that you got going on right here. I forgot to mention that earlier. I like it.
This one I'm
Yeah,
wearing?
that one. Yeah, that one. The one. Yeah, the one you have on. Sorry, it looks good. How long
Thank
did it take
you.
for you to make that?
Oh, I did write it down.
Oh,
I don't remember. I think it's around 100, usually around 100 hours. Yeah, I try to keep track because it's just really cool, and people usually ask it but I forgot. Yeah, I think I kept track of the amount of hours, but I forgot how much it was. But it's somewhere between 15 or 100 hours usually. I think this one took me 70 hours, if I remember correctly. But
oh,
then
okay.
after that, I started weathering it, so there was another couple of hours added to that. But yeah, quite a few hours. And with this one, I bought a dark blue and a dark red morph suit and then combined them.
Oh,
And
okay.
for this suit, I just bought a piece of blue fabric and a piece of red fabric and then went for it. It was
Well, it
really
turned
hard
out good. I
actually,
like it.
especially because
Oh
thank
yeah,
you. It's
yeah.
based off of Mayday Parker's outfit.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like the daughter of Peter and
Yeah,
Mary Jane.
you put in a lot of work with your stuff.
I do, but it's yeah. Like if I had the money to commission something, I would do it.
Right.
But it's just that the budget that I have, if I would spend that on a costume that's pre-made, then I would not be happy with the quality. So that's why I make them myself.
I completely understand. Um, but all right, guys, I think that is where we will end this week's episode of Nerd Talk. Thank you so much for coming on. Uh, Especially with time wise, because it's well, I should be like 6 o'clock your time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 6 p.m. here.
So
And it was 10
yes, it was 10 o'clock
p.m. for you.
a.m. my time.
Oh my
So
God.
it's not that bad.
Good morning.
It was because there was somebody I had to stay up to like maybe 11 or 12 a couple of months ago for because I had a guest on from Australia, and so that was a
Whoa.
long one, but it was very
Yeah.
fun. But thank you again for coming on for this week's episode. Um, as per usual, you guys, up on, if you're new to the channel or new to the podcast, up on screen now are all the ways you can follow and support her with her Instagram, TikTok, whatever. It's all here. But for those who are listening on podcast, how can people follow and support you?
And you can find me on Instagram by typing in Evelina Cosplay, on YouTube, Evelina Cosplay as well. And that's the main parts, actually. I don't do a lot with Twitter, unfortunately, but so mainly it's gonna be Instagram and YouTube, Evelina Cosplay.
And so also be sure to check out everything here on the channel as well. A lot of new stuff is getting ready to go and get ready to launch here. Very excited for some stuff that I think you guys will enjoy. Video game wise, we are actually about to start our playthrough of, ironically enough, the original Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one. So we're about to start through that.
Awesome.
So be sure to check that out as well. But other than that, you guys, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. See ya.